All right. So have you ever been to like a conference or a workshop,
Mm-hmm.
even a webinar, and you're just, you know, scrambling to take notes,
Sure.
trying to write down every little thing the speaker's saying,
Absolutely.
and then you're also trying to take pictures of the slides?
I've been there
It's like a
so many times.
total like sensory overload.
You feel like you're missing something if you're not
Yeah,
capturing it all.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you look at your notes and it's just like chicken scratch.
It's true. And then the pictures are blurry.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even read the slides.
Right. It's like, what was I even doing there?
Yeah, what a waste.
So what if there was like a better way to handle this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're doing a deep dive on R8MyTalk.
Oh, interesting.
So this is a platform that is trying to solve this exact problem.
That's fascinating. I've actually heard about this, but I'm not really familiar with how it works.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more.
It tries to make it so that you're not just frantically trying to get all this information down,
Right.
but that it's actually like a valuable exchange
Okay.
for everyone, who's involved,
Yeah.
like the speakers,
Right.
the attendees, and the event organizers.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of missed opportunities in that post-presentation moment
Totally.
where the speaker's gone, everyone's packing up, there's no real way to capture those thoughts and feedback,
Yeah.
and for the speaker to get valuable insights, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this platform was actually created by Layla Kubesh,
Oh, okay.
who's an award-winning educator and speaker.
So she clearly gets it.
Yeah, she knows what it's like to be up on stage and
Yeah.
really wanting to connect with the audience.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does Rate My Talk actually work?
Well, from what I understand, the idea is to kind of eliminate that anxiety of feeling like you have to capture everything
Okay.
during the presentation. So it gives attendees the peace of mind knowing they're going to have access to the materials later.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they can actually relax, engage with the speaker, actually listen.
Be present.
Yeah, and absorb the information without having to be like a court stenographer.
Right, totally.
Trying to get every word down.
So walk me through this. Like, how do you actually use it if you're at an event?
So at the end of the presentation,
Okay.
the speaker would display like a custom QR code.
Okay.
And the attendees just scan it with their phones like we do with everything else these days.
It's like second nature at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Give a quick rating, leave some feedback, and boom, they get instant access to the speaker's resources.
Yeah.
Like slides, any ebooks they mentioned, handouts, all that stuff.
It's almost like you're incentivizing engagement by,
Exactly. It's like a reward.
Yeah.
I gave you my feedback, now give me your knowledge.
And you're also getting valuable data as a speaker
Absolutely.
or as the event organizer.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to really understand what landed, what resonated, what could be improved.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the specific features that make Rate My Talk really work. So you already mentioned, this instant resource sharing.
Right. That's a huge one.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. How many times have you been to an event
Oh, countless.
and you're like, I need those slides.
yes.
And you're emailing the speaker.
Especially if there's like a statistic or a chart you really want to remember.
Oh, absolutely. And then you're like waiting and you never get a response or it comes weeks later and you've totally forgotten the contact.
I know, it's the worst.
Yeah.
So this solves that problem.
It makes it very streamlined and organized.
Okay, what else?
So each speaker gets that custom QR code, which, makes it easy for them to manage their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and this is really cool, event planners can actually tailor the feedback forms.
Oh.
So they can get very specific feedback, like relevant to their event. So it's not just a generic, did you like this presentation?
Oh.
It could be tailored to the specific topics or the goals of the event.
So give me an example, like how would you tailor it?
Well, let's say you're having a conference about, the future of work.
Okay.
You could ask specific questions like, what are the 3 key takeaways you're going to implement in your workplace?
Well, that's good.
What specific aspects of the presentation did you find most valuable for your role?
That makes it much more
So it's really focused.
upgiftionable.
Exactly. And then you get much more valuable data that you can actually use.
This brings up an interesting question, though. We're kind of saying that, like, this is a good way to get, like, honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't there kind of like an inherent bias there?
What do you mean?
Well, if you know you're going to get all this great stuff,
I see what you're saying.
the slides, the ebooks.
You might be more inclined to leave a positive review. That's a valid point.
So how do you work around that?
Well, I think the tailoring of the feedback forms is really key here.
Okay.
Like I said, instead of just, did you like this?
Mm-hmm.
You're asking those open-ended specific questions
Right.
that really encourage people to think critically
Okay.
and give more nuanced feedback.
So it's not just like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's
Yeah.
like you actually have to put some thought into it.
It forces you to engage with the material
Gotcha.
and articulate your thoughts.
Now, this is cool. I read that R8MyTalk also has this feature called the question box.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
So even after the event is over,
Right.
you can still be interacting with the speaker,
It keeps the conversation going.
which is amazing.
I think that's so valuable because so often you walk away from a presentation.
You have that one burning question.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I wish I had asked that. Or you think of it later, and there's no way to really connect with the speaker.
Yeah, so this is like a way to bridge that gap.
Yeah, it allows for ongoing dialogue and learning.
And then the speaker can answer those questions.
Exactly.
And maybe even compile those answers and share them,
Yeah, they could do a follow-up email, a newsletter.
with everyone who attended.
It's great for building community, too.
So it seems like, as we've been talking about this, there are a lot of wins here.
It really is a win-win.
For attendees, they're getting this, valuable information, the resources.
Right.
They're also knowing that their feedback is being heard.
Exactly. They're not just shouting into the void. They're
Yeah.
actually contributing to something.
And then the event planners, they're getting these really specific insights that they can then use
Yeah, to make their next event even better.
to make decisions about future events.
Absolutely.
And then speakers are obviously benefiting. They're getting feedback. They're growing their email list.
Yeah, and they could potentially get testimonials out of it,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
for future speaking engagements.
This all sounds great, but are there any downsides?
That's a good question.
Like anything we should be wary of?
Yeah. Well, I guess one potential concern could be information overload.
Oh, yeah.
If you're at a conference and every speaker is offering all these resources,
That could be a lot.
it could be overwhelming for attendees.
Yeah, it's like you come home with a hard drive full of stuff.
Right, and you never actually look at any of it.
Yeah, so I guess the key there would be to be really discerning
I think so.
about, what you actually download.
And for speakers to be mindful about what they're offering,
Yeah.
making sure it's truly valuable and not just adding to the noise.
So it really puts the onus on both sides
I think so.
to be intentional.
Yeah, to be thoughtful about that exchange.
So for our listeners out there, if you're someone who, attends events, speaks at events, plans events, this is something that you should really check out.
It's a pretty cool concept.
Because it really is taking this simple frustration and turning it into a powerful tool.
Yeah, I like how it emphasizes that feedback is a gift.
Right.
And that when you create a system that values that,
Everyone wins.
it benefits everyone involved.
And so if you want to learn more about R8MyTalk,
Mm-hmm.
you can visit Leila Kubesh's website.
I'll have to check that out.
She has a lot of information there, not just about the platform itself,
Yeah.
but also about, her kind of mission to make events more engaging and more impactful.
It sounds like a really innovative approach.
And who knows, maybe we'll even start using it for our own deep dives.
Now, that would be interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
We could get your feedback in real time.
I'd love to hear what people think.
All right, well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on R8MyTalk.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.